Right then, hello everyone and a very warm welcome to you as you join me once again for another live stream from my channel Highbrook HEMR Railway. Today's stream topic, as you can see, we are doing unprototypical requests only on Highbrook HEMR Railway, and as you can see here, Unprototypicality, and obviously you can see in the title that's what I've named it. So today is unprototypical requests only, and to get us going I've put some on the track. I thought I'd start the trains all off from the mainline side of things today for a bit of a change. But requests are unprototypical ones only, so I'm looking forward to see the wacky combinations you come up with. Obviously, as I've said, you will have the opportunity to put in your requests and get the chance to see what you want to see running the layout, as long as they are, of course, unprototypical requests. We will be live today until about 6 o'clock, so about 1 hour and 40 minutes to go, so there is plenty of time for the usual mishaps, derailments and banter with the live chat, of course. So I will roll the intro to get this stream underway, and I'll see you all in about 12 seconds. Enjoy the stream everyone, and do get thinking of some unprototypical requests. So then, in the chat so far, we've got Jaden from On the Mainline. Thank you very much for joining, Jaden. Of course, I'll give you the chance to put your requests in just a few minutes. Oh, by the way, forgot to do this yesterday. There we go. Drink of choice is blackcurrant and lemonade today. So, stream's properly started now. Cheers. I shall have a slurp. Ah, that was nice. Right, let's get cracking for once. So, on the Stevens line, there's my magnets there for me lights. I haven't put the lights on actually. Tell you what, we'll start by putting the lights on then. We'll start by putting the lights on there. Peel 2 magnets off, chuck them in there, stick them down there. Couple you up. The 3 things I had to put lights in, and 2/3 of them I forgot to do. The lights in the brake van are on, I just forgot to do these. So, as I was saying, on the Riddles line we have a Great Western 101 with 2 blood and custards at either end. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, that did actually happen because you had a 14XX and auto coaches. Well, my response to that is, that's not a 14XX, that's a Class 101, and these aren't auto coaches, they are blood and custards. So, that's my answer to that. So we'll set them going. If the 101 can actually haul 2 coaches, which it doesn't seem to be doing. I should have really tested this. Go on. Do I have to start messing about changing trains over already? Fine. We'll get the other lines going first. Middle line. The Riddles line. We have the D11 and 3 container wagons. And on the Gresley line, the HST with 7 coal wagons. Oh, looks like we've begun the stream as we ended yesterday. And on the Gresley line, the HST with 7 coal wagons and a brake van. Off we go. I shall sort the middle line out in a minute when I've done this. So yeah, we ended the stream yesterday on pretty much thousands of derailments, things breaking, things deciding to dismantle themselves. So we'll see if we can not start the stream like that, although to be fair, the D11's come off immediately. Yay. Check I turned the power off on the middle line then, because that would have been bad news. I don't want to burn out that. Right, let's try again. On the Stevenson line, Queen Elizabeth this time with 2 coaches. She's just about managing. There we go. And now I will fix the D11 nightmare that we seem to have begun with. Oh, that's why. That's why it's derailed. That trim piece on the brake van's come off again. Whoops. I'll not let my hand get run over by the HST. There we go, look. That's the trim piece of the brake van and it were on the track, so, alright. It didn't happen for no reason like it was doing yesterday. That's alright then. So, D11, off you go again, please. Half wave, not full wave. And I haven't re-railed that properly, so let's rectify that before I start getting annoyed. There we go. Power. And we're going. That coupling's a bit wonky, that's going to annoy me as well. There we go. Straight. I think we're all ready now. Everything seems to be working for now. I will just briefly stop the HST as well. Just to put this trim piece back in. In fact, no I won't. I'll just slow it down. Look. Oh no, I will stop it. I think that needs gluing in. I think it popped out when I was putting the lighting in the brake van and it's just never properly sat back in again. There we go, HST, off you go again. I said HST, off you go again. What? HST? There we go, got a bit stuck. We are going, now, finally. Things are behaving. Good. Let's stick the HST on a bit faster. There we go. I will adjust camera 2 again. Because as I said yesterday, it's difficult to get the balance right without the stream being live. Sometimes it can be a bit yellowy. So, yeah. We shall see if that's any better. I don't think that looks too bad. If you were here in the stream yesterday, when I mentioned I was going to see a rail tour through my station shortly after the stream, I did manage to go see that. It was 2 Class 47s, you'll have seen that if you've seen the video. I think on the way there, because we had a look at that video on YouTube, didn't we? It was 2 37s on the way there, but two 47s on the way back, and obviously because I was catching it on the return journey, it was the two 47s for me, which was nice. Pretty much full tilt through my station, if you've seen in the title I called it full tilt 47s. They were going really fast, a lot of thrash, quite a bit of smoke, and the scream from the turbos as well. So yeah, got to see it. Nearly ended up on the wrong platform. I mean, my dad took me in the car. I was going to bike up, but if my dad hadn't been there saying, you know, trains don't, you know, from, let's call it X and Y, because otherwise it'll tell you where I live. You know, if he said, basically what he said was, trains don't come from X on this platform, they come from X on the other platform. So yeah, I was stood on the wrong platform. So I had to literally sprint over to the other platform, and I had about a minute to set up my tripod before the train started hoving into view. I didn't have, as I said in the description of that video, I didn't have the space, because normally I go to the end of a platform and stick a tripod on the fence there, and then stick one tripod on the floor. So I have tripod on the floor gets the coming shot, tripod on the fence gets the going shot. But because some people were already there at the end, and I didn't want to go to the other end of the platform, closer to where the train were coming from, because there was no room and there were a load of bushes in the way. So yeah, the shaky shot was me holding my dad's phone and getting a going shot in my hand, which actually turned out alright. Not the most stable thing ever, but we got the coming shot on my tripod and got the whooshing past on my dad's phone, so didn't end too badly. That video is up now if you'd like to watch it. I scheduled it to release about half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. I tell you what we normally do with a D11, which I shall do now. What we normally do when we're messing about like this is open the smoke box door. So there we go. Bit of glue there. I just saw the back end of the D11 train bounce on it. We've rectified that. Very good. Let's open the runarounds as well for the fake 14XX and auto coach train. Another sip of drink. Well, hopefully, and well, I said the C word on stream yesterday, but hopefully by Christmas I may have a third webcam, which will bring in some variety, won't it? Is this going to work? I should have a third webcam hopefully by Christmas. Well, after Christmas, on Christmas, whatever. Which means that you'll have a third view. I don't know where that view will be. We'll still have one from the station, as you can see here. We'll still have one on the main line here. I may either do one behind the I don't know whether to do one behind where my laptop is. I'll tell you what, I'll get one of the cameras off the tripod. This is where it's all going to go a bit shaky, but no worries. I'll shut this runaround loop now. It's probably needs cleaning inside there. Right, let's see what we can do. We'll just switch over to this camera for a minute while I unscrew the camera from the tripod. So I don't want to disturb the tripod. So, we'll see what we can do, and I'll make sure not to point it at my face. So, here we go. Switching to camera. Now, there we go. So, that's where the camera's just come from, on that tripod there. And rare view, this is what it looks like when I'm streaming, so this is OBS up here, and I'm aware I could turn the brightness down, because this camera's brightness is set up for over here. But this is where I normally stream. This is my new laptop, by the way. This is OBS, and, you know, keyboard down there to control it, my controller drawer in there. Mouse, phone, so I can make sure the stream's alright on YouTube. But yeah, this is where that's where I sit to do my streaming. This is the headset cable, this is the webcam cable, and that's the tripod there. That's the other camera there. So I'm thinking to put it behind the laptop, sort of maybe over here. Like somewhere like that. So then we can watch things going around that corner. So this will be the third webcam, so you'll still have the station view. You'll still have the mainline view, but then you'll have this view as well. I'm thinking off here, because there's a wooden joist that I can put the camera on here, and it might be quite interesting to sort of not only see me faffing around with a laptop, but, you know, see what goes around this corner, because there is quite a lot going around this corner. There's, you know, sidings and stuff as well, so I'm thinking I may put it there. And because the camera lead isn't very long, I'll have to just point it like this. I could put it on that joist there, looking round that corner, but I don't feel, in that siding there isn't as much going on, if you know what I mean. Like, whereas over here, you know, there's going to be quite a lot of buildings and stuff, and the sawmill that'll hopefully work, and the laptop, which, you know, although it's not a feature on a model railway, it'll be interesting to see, you know, sort of me pushing buttons and stuff. I just feel like it'd be better over here than it would be over there, just because that's going to be quite flat and boring. Not boring, but it's a siding, isn't it? So I feel like putting it, I can't really move it any further than that, but putting it round here might not be such a good idea. Obviously, when I get 4 webcams, which is what I'm aiming for, I will have one over here. But for a third camera, I think the next best view after the main line of the station would be to put it over here, and then the 4th webcam. Maybe I will get 2 webcams at Christmas. I haven't really decided what else I want to put on my list, so to speak. And obviously, I'm getting older, so I don't get as much, which is fine. But for my 4th camera, I'll probably put that one over there. I may as well do some panning shots while I've got the camera off the tripod. That's the tripod and my biscuit bowl and drink bowl. You can definitely see, actually. There's a slight hill there, isn't there? On the 3rd radius line. Yeah, there is definitely a slight hill there, isn't there? Watch again, watch the coaches. You can see them sort of shifting up slightly, so over here there's definitely a slight hill, and that's because obviously the boards aren't completely flat. And obviously we had to, as you can see, fill that one, because that's where the moisture problem was. But you can definitely see things dipping slightly. Which is why Tornado's front bogie often sometimes jumps there, but it's not a problem. You can just definitely see that there's a slight raised section. Watch again, watch the coaches. Well, the wagons, there you go. You can just see them shifting up ever so slightly. I will put the camera back on the tripod in a minute. Maybe I should do this more often. Whack the camera around a bit. I'm not going to take it off the other tripod because that's a pain to get it off, and yeah. It's a pain to get the camera off the other tripod, so I'll have to do it with this one, unfortunately. But anyway, that camera will go back on the tripod now, and I'll try not to knock it. Otherwise there will be several minutes of faffing trying to get it lined back up again. And I've managed not to knock it so far. It's pretty well wedged under the board, so we shall see what it looks like in a moment. Turn my laptop brightness back up now the camera's not having to stare at it. Right, switching back. Ah, good, it's exactly in the same spot. Apart from when you nearly clattered the tripod with your knee. But, yeah. So that's where I'm thinking of putting it. Jaden's... well, yeah, Jaden seems to agree. Have a camera on me, what do you mean by that? Anyway, on that note... not on that note. That made no sense at all. I think we shall slow things down a little bit now and get ready to change the train. So, anyone in the chat got any requests? Oh, a camera on the main line, yeah. Well, as you know, this is going to be the main line section. But, yeah. I guess I do. But if anyone would like any requests, do put them in the chat now. 2 up for, well, 3 up for grabs if you want. I'll stop the D11. I'll let the other 2 go on for a little bit. But if anyone's got any requests, do put them in the chat now. I suppose you can have as many as you want, just depends who gets in first. Don't think there's many watching, so if you want more than one, do get in quickly. So any unprototypical requests, do pop them in the chat now and I will do them. Am I going to have to stop 2 trains at once here? That was nearly a perfect stop, that's disappointing. That was. The HST is going round again. And it's stalled. I mean, I guess if you're going really unprototypical, you could do terrible stops. But it's unsatisfying if it's not a perfect stop, so the HST will go round again. Good job it's not a mishap stream. I should start counting bad stopping skills as mishaps on my mishap stream, shouldn't I? Stop! Yes, that's better. Right, any requests, pop them in the chat now. And I will do them. Jaden says, can you do the 31? It's 31. Class 31. I'm not really keen on 33s, if I'm going to be honest. The West Coast Railways ones are nice. Because they're unusual. You don't see them very often, but yeah, I think the green 33 looks a bit odd. But you have said, regardless of that, can you do the 31 with coaches, including the Pullman with the flatbed and the Great Western Railways tank on the back end? Yes, I can. At the flatbed, by the way, you probably know this, but just to clarify for anyone else who's watching, the flatbed that's on the back of the 31 at the 101, the Great Western 101, is permanently, well, pretty much permanently attached to the 101 because it serves as a extra set of pickups, because the pickups on this are fine, they're nice and robust, but on the 101 the pickups are spindly little wisps of copper, and not all of them make contact with the wheels all the time, especially when it's going around corners. So the flatbed on the back of the 101 is just a place to hide some extra pickups. They do actually work, which I could demonstrate now. I will demonstrate now. We'll do it on the siding controller because you can see it easier and get to it easier. So there we go. If I lift... let's do it that way, that'll be a lot easier. So, if I lift the 101 off the track... Let's not do it over the points. If I lift the 101 over the track, off the track... But there you can see that's completely off the track? It's still been powered, even though it's completely off the track. And it works on 2 wheels, back 2 wheels, both power, and the front 2 wheels as well. And if I turn it over, you can see there's some extra pickups there, and some discrete black wires that link it up. And I guess the wires could pass as pipes or stuff like that. But anyway, I'm sure you all knew that already. So Jaden wants a 31. If it'll actually keep its coupling in place today. 31. Still amazes me how heavy this thing is. 31. With coaches, including the Pullmans. So what? We're going for all 4 Virgin ones, Jaden? Is that what you fancy? I think we shall. I won't put the blood and custards on. Just because the Virgin ones are the first one that comes to my head. So, we will do the 4 Virgin coaches. In fact, we won't. We'll do 3 of them because one of them's a brake coach. Let me take that back off. One of them's a brake coach and doesn't have a coupling at the back, and you want the 101 at the back. So we'll do 3 Virgin coaches. I need to get a coupling for that the brake Virgin coach, because even though it's a brake coach, you will be surprised at how many times I need to couple stuff to the end of a brake coach. Make sure they couple. So they're coupled. Check. Shift it up a little bit. Lights on, as you can see, looking good. With coaches, including the Pullmans. Which draw are they in? 4 Pullmans. One of these Pullmans is a brake coach, but it does have the coupling on the back of it, because the couplings aren't removable. So there we go. The maroon Trian coach is out of out of service because it's in bits, because it needs a wire soldering back onto the reed switch underneath. Because one of the wires popped off while the bogey popped off yesterday during the stream, and I haven't had a chance to solder it back on, but it's still in bits. So yeah, could run it, but it'd look weird without having lights in it. Four Pullmans, we'll get there eventually. If you want another request, Jaden, do feel free to pop it in the chat. Nobody else is either here or wants to have one. So Jaden, if you want to put in another request, please do. You can have one more, because the last one I will have that one for me. So if you want another request, do put it in the chat. So we'll shift the train up, and you want the flatbed and Great Western tank on the back. So, because you've listed flatbed first, we're going to have the 101 facing backwards. So there you go, Jaden, that's your request. The 31 with 3 Virgin coaches, 4 Pullmans, and the 101 on the back. The 101's wheel spinning like mad, but it's not really a problem. Egg van thingy. The 08 pull in a single container. Okay, we shall do that. We'll stick it over here. A single container. So we'll go for the 3 P&Os. Egg van thing. I think I know what you mean. Is it this? I think it's the one that's missing a roof. Is it that? Is that what you mean? No problem, by the way. Happy. I'll leave that one there until you confirm. And is the fan still spinning in the roof? Yes, it is. And for my request, we shall break out the German loco. Oh, no, we won't. Yes, we will. We'll break out the German loco. Oh, it is that one. Good. It's an old Triang Insulfish van, it says on the side of it, but the roof's missing. But there you go, Jaden. Thank you for that request. Even more unprototypical because it's lost its roof. I haven't lost its roof. When I got it, it came with a missing roof. And I tell you what, to make it even more unprototypical, we'll have the 08 going at maximum speed, which is still, let's be honest, very slow, but I suppose the Grizzly Line train is hideously unprototypical because the 101 was definitely never been with the 31 and wheel spinning like mad. So there we go, we'll have the big beefy German engine thing, and we shall have it pushing a brake van. Because why not? And I don't know if this control's powerful enough. Oh yeah, it is. There we go. Off we go. Will it? I haven't checked actually. I don't think I've ever checked to see if the 03.10 will go around the runaround loop. So we shall find out. And it's oh no. Yeah, it's clashing with the platform again, as I mentioned during yesterday's stream. Because, yeah, platform's just a little bit too wide for some of the big engines. So, that's good to know. And I'll chuck the brake van back on when it comes round here, because it's easier to get to. There we go. We're off and running, as Del Boy says, and then his television explode. If you haven't watched Only Fools and Horses, what are you doing with your sad life? Jokes, by the way. I always feel the need to clarify that they're jokes. D11, let's put you back with the others. There we go. Everything's working. I love Only Fools and Horses. I'll tell you my favourite TV programmes. I will put them in the chat though, because if I try and say them out loud, I'll end up correcting myself a million times. So here are my favourite TV shows / programmes. So 1, and you will get to see these in a moment. I am typing them out because otherwise, as I've said, I will end up correcting myself 4 million times. I think I sent them to my mate the other day, so I don't have to try and remember them, I just need to find the list. That's the wrong messaging group. Where is it? So, they'll be coming through shortly. And I'm terrible at... God, I don't know where those caps came in. Let's delete them. There you go. In the chat now are my favourite TV programmes or films. Things to watch. So there we go. They are my favourites. Brastoff, by the way, is a film about... Well, in the 1994, I think. It's set in 1994, I don't know when it was made. But it's, okay, let's say, in the Margaret Thatcher era. Brastoff is a film in the Margaret Thatcher era when she started shutting down the pits, and follows Grimethorpe or Grimthorpe, however you want to say it, pit and its closing and the struggles to try and keep it open. It does eventually close, as you might expect, so that's not much of a spoiler. But it follows, you know, the closing of Grimethorpe or Grimthorpe and other pits around the country, and the Grimethorpe Colliery Band, which is a good film. I watched it last night. I'd seen clips of it before, but watched it with the family last night, and well, I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Definitely shows you why people don't like Margaret Thatcher so much, or didn't like Margaret Thatcher so much. But it was a good film. I liked it. Do thoroughly recommend. Oh, I do thoroughly recommend watching it. Jaden, you just remind. Every time I do my top things to watch, I always. I don't know how I can forget, but I always forget Top Gear, the Grand Tour. You know, the programs James May and Richard's done. I always forget that. Top Gun was good, but I wouldn't say it made it on the list. So I'd say Top Gear comes joint first spot. So at number 1, also add in Top Gear / the Grand Tour / as you've said, anything with Richard, James and Jeremy in it, or anything with Richard or James or Jeremy in it, if you want to word it like that. You do, you should watch it. I haven't got the books, but you should watch it. It's brilliant. Literally the best thing I've ever seen, as you can see by the list. It's literally the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Probably the best thing I've ever seen in my life. So yes, watch it. Or I'll personally come and steal all your trains off you if you don't. You said it on a personal level. What? Stealing all your trains off you? I can see why Tom and Jerry came first on your list, by the way. I can see that. I can see why. It was a good, is it still going? Was/is, there we go. A very good programme. I did enjoy it. I wouldn't enjoy it now as a teenager, but yeah. I can see that. Road racing, fair enough, I can see that as well. 2 and 3 are just obvious. 4, fair enough. Oh, is it not? That's a shame. A few films, the long films they did were alright. Yeah, I did. The original ones were good. My favourite one was where Tom made the Rube Goldberg. My favourite one was where Tom made the Rube Goldberg-esque. Did I just say eat? My favourite episode is where Tom makes the Rube Goldberg-esque mousetrap for Jerry. I like that episode, that's probably my favourite one. That's as far as I can remember the episodes. Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? Because he just ends up crushing himself. Yeah, that was funny. It's still funny now, actually. I watched it again the other day when for whatever reason, I was suddenly thinking of it. Quite a long train, that request, Jaden. It is a very funny programme, I'd agree with you. Would be nice to go back and watch some of the old episodes, I think. Fawlty Towers is good. That's a really good comedy programme. I'd recommend watching that. It's got John Cleese in, who was in Monty Python. Yes, he was in Monty Python. But yeah. I did, I did, and I still do really enjoy Fawlty Towers. It's a shame, because there were only 2 series of it, but it was a very, very, very funny comedy show. I really enjoy watching it over and over again. Nice. We'll change over the train shortly. Do be thinking of some wacky requests. If you have any and want to put them in the chat now, please do. Do put them in the chat if you do have any. The German one light? Can we call that prototypical? I mean, I guess it's running on a... I don't know whether to, so to speak, allow that one or not. What do you think? Jaden, can you stick something else on it to make it a little bit more unprototypical? I feel like a German loco running on a British railway might be a little bit far-fetched. Well, especially because one of the So the Neen Valley Railway that has a load of... it's got Polish tank on it, hasn't it? So it's not that unprototypical. Can you think of anything? Ah, German with a P&O and egg van. Can do that. I will do that in a few moments. We'll let everything have a few more laps. Oh no, I'm not referring to the war, I'm just saying, you know, I could have been really, you know, cheeky and said, yeah, it's unprototypical because it's a German loco running on, you know, a British-themed monorailway. But then the first thought was just the Polish tank on the Neen Valley Railway, just to give an example of a foreign loco running on English track. Wasn't a reference to the war, but eh. Right, we'll slow everything down now. If you can think of another one, Jaden, do feel free to put it in the chat. Do feel free to put it in the chat if you can think of another. If not, I shall come up, or somebody else can come up with another one or two. The 31 sort of stopped there. Is it gonna? Yes. Just turned it down too much. There we go. Let's reach for the right controller. Here comes the 03.10. Bang. And the 08 will slowly crawl into shot in just a moment. Lovely. Right, so what we shall do... In fact, actually, just before we get them going, I know I keep saying I've shown you the rotating fan in the roof of 31, and I have before on stream. But I'll show you it again now. Which means taking the camera off the tripod. But before we do that, Jaden has said... let's get back on the camera that looks somewhat decent. Jaden has said, I've got to go, George. Stay safe and take care, mate. Thanks for the stream and good luck with the rest of it. Yep, no problem, Jaden. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for your requests. Yep, thank you for joining. Do enjoy the rest of your evening as well. Enjoy whatever you're going up to after this. Take care and see you later. I could just have moved the tripod for this, but it's too much faff if I'm going to be honest. Let's get it on. So it only sort of works when it gets past crawling speed, which, as I've said before, is absolutely fine because, at least on the Northern Transpennine driving the 45 and the 47s, the fans only really come on when you're doing, you know, sort of pulling a really heavy train at very high speeds. So, normally, well, if I didn't know that, I would be slightly annoyed that it only sort of, you know, spins, you know, when you're actually shifting along a little bit past crawling, but because I know that the fans on diesel engines aren't always running, I am completely fine with it, you know, at this speed. Let's cut out. I'm completely fine with it, you know, not running at that speed or consistently. But there you go, so let's get some trains on. reposition this? Probably. Let's turn that controller off. Right, so Jaden said, so we'll do his request even though he's gone. He has said, German one with P and O and an egg van. So we'll swap it onto the middle line. I mean, it's not an egg van as we've already discussed, but that's what Jaden knows it as, so that's fine. We'll have it running the correct way this time. Slightly magnetic, that drawbar. So it can be difficult to get it in the hole. So there we go. Couple. And off that one goes. Let's move the 31 out of the way first. There you go. Off that one goes. And we'll put that camera back on the tripod. Now, I think I shall come up with the other two. So, middle line, what have we got to work with? Let's use Flying Scotsman. Do we have this here? Yeah, we'll have this on this line. Tender. Pushing. Tornado's tender. Presume this has never been done before. And to top it all off, the usual thing we end up doing when I run out of ideas, which I certainly haven't. We will stick the brake van on the back of it as well. So there we go. Brake van, Flying Scotsman, and Tornado's tender. Pretty good crawl, this Scotsman, you know, as I always say. Despite it being a very, very, very old model. 50 years old, maybe? This is an amazing crawl. Look at that. Pretty smooth as well. Off we go. And finally, what I think we'll do is we'll keep the Virgin coaches. We'll take the Pullmans off. I think we might... no, we'll take the 101 off. Ah, my hands are getting... Nah. Oh great, Flying Scotsman's derailed. Let's kill the power before that goes sour. Haha, that rhymed. Unintentionally. Pullmans. I need somewhere to put them. Oh, everything's broken now. Oh, and my laptop's moved. Right. Oh, the 31's still got its power turned on. Let's shift you out of the way. We'll stick the 08 on, because I am very much liking the 08 at the moment. Couple. What do we stick on the fronts? Let's stick Tornado on. But with the 08 pushing the coaches and Tornado pushing the 08 and the coaches. Gosh, funny. Those coupling hooks across, that's going to make for a wonderful time round corners. So, Scotsman derailed, which caused the, not caused, the 03.10 to derail as well. Anyway, Tornado and the 08, with the coaches, off they go. Let's... oh god, it's all derailing now. Right, we'll fix things one at a time. Don't know why Scotsman do it. Oh, there's a big stone in the way. I still need to do some more vacuuming on this track because there's stones everywhere. Scotsman, you can go. We'll stop that train there because that's derailed as well. Right, Scotsman, off you go. 03.10, let's re-rail you. You can now go as well. Ah, it's re-railed itself. I did miss one wheel, but it re-railed itself. Whoops, excuse me. I have knocked the camera. Let's put it back on its mount. There we go. And Tornado. Come on now. Tornado's actually out of action in real life now, I still think, because it flats on its wheels. There we go, everything is off and running. What I shall do now, as I always take the time for doing these streams, is to turn the background music up. I'll shut up because I've been doing quite a bit of talking today, and I'll let you just watch the trains in peace for a couple of minutes. As I always say when I do this, I will still be in the chat, but I won't be speaking on stream. I'll be in the chat, and I'll whiz up the background music, and I will let you listen to the... Well, yeah, let you listen to the music and watch the trains. Tornado has... yeah, keeps derailing, so I'll wait for the 08 to get round. But anyway, I'll turn up the background music. Do enjoy a couple of minutes of silence and rest from my voice, and do enjoy the sights of the train. So, back speaking in a couple of moments, but I will still be in the chat. I am back sooner than expected just to explain what happened there. Basically, I was trying to stop the 08 to couple to Tornado, turned the controller for the middle line down so the 03 stopped, then turned this one down instead of turning the 4th radius line down. And so yeah, everything stopped apart from the train I wanted to stop. So anyway, now that orderly running has been resumed, now we'll go to the running section. Okay, so I am back. I was going to wait for the, well, I was going to stop the music and trains section a little bit shorter than that, but I thought I'd really, I wanted to listen to the end of that song, and that's a pretty good song, so I waited until the end of that song. So, the job now, I think what we'll do, we'll have some semi-darkness. I'm not reaching all the way under the drawer to get to the other switch, the other light that's plugged into the extension. And the controllers are all plugged into the extension, so we shall go for semi-darkness. In fact, no we won't. I'll stop being lazy. I'll go under the drawer and get the other plug out as well. So, one moment please. Okay, that is us in darkness. I don't know if this light's going to behave with it off, or is it going to do that funny? No. It's doing that funny pixelating thing, which this camera, until I'll have to wait until a train with light comes round. This camera over here, you can probably just see me wafting. This camera over here doesn't do that effect. It goes completely dark, whereas this one doesn't, which is a little bit annoying, not gonna lie, but that's fine. Well, it's properly pitch black. We haven't got as many trains with lights on as I thought. We've got a few. I could add some partial lighting if I wanted to that one. We'll see if we can give that a go. There we go. Tripod's kind of just messing that up though. There we go. That's a little bit better. I shall bring back the light now. Just a brief stint. Otherwise I will be blinded when they all come back on. So one moment please while I put the lights back on. Normally, when I'm not streaming, I do have both of my lights plugged into a socket rather than the extension cord, so, well, I don't turn the lights off like that when I'm not streaming, but they are normally plugged into sockets, whereas when I'm streaming I've got my phone charger, well, the things extra I've got to have plugged in, my phone charger and my laptop, so that means I have to put one of the light plugs in the extension instead, because my phone charger won't reach underneath to where the extension is. The laptop one will, but I don't feel like plugging a charger into an extension, if you know what I mean, like a beefy laptop charger. Because the extension cable's quite long, and then the laptop charger cable's quite long, so I just don't want to, you know, just don't feel right doing it, to be honest, so that's why one of the lights is in the extension instead. Right then, so for the final tornado, no, Flying Scotsman stalled. Oh no. For the final bit of the stream, I think we'll change over the trains. So, I'll let Scotsman. Oh, Scotsman is arcing quite bad. Oh no, it's not. It's the light going through the wheels. Never mind. Oh no, it is actually arcing. It's not just me. That was... oh dear. Something may be internally wrong with Scotsman because there are sparks. Yeah, there are sparks. Oh well. Broke down in time. I shall have a look at that. Nothing to worry about, I'm sure it's probably a wire that's come loose. We'll have a look in a minute. Tornado, stop there. That was not a perfect stop, let's make it a perfect stop. It's not going round again. There we are. Reach for the right controller for the 03. Oh, have you cut out as well now? Come on. Power. There we go. Now that'll do. Right, final lot for today. What haven't we had out? We haven't had the 9F out, which is a little bit of a shame. Oh, well that's just typical. The coupling hook's dropped out once again. Now it's got lost in the folds of the bubble wrap. Right. Needs a new coupling in that, because I'm sick of putting that coupling hook back in. And it'll be worth the £2 or however much it is for a pack of 10 or something like that. Right, 9F. What have we got that's weird? Aha. Okay, we shall do this to be weird. This is the remains of the other Triang maroon coach. That I couldn't fit lights into it, unfortunately, because somebody glued the things together. So it was either going to be a coach without lights in that looked weird, or a coach that I dismantled for bits and used as a testing coach, which is what I do now. So, to make the end of this stream very unprototypical, there goes the 9F with the remains of a triangle maroon coach. Actually goes quite well together because it's black. Let's have the 9F going. Oh, you stupid tenders, come off again. Let's have the 9F going fairly rapidly just to make it even more weird. Where's the controller knob? There we go. That tender shouldn't derail around corners going tender first anymore, because I put a load of weight in it. So it was far too light, and when running tender first it just used to jump off the track. It may be because I gave it a sudden burst of speed around that corner at the end of that station platform there. No, yeah, it hasn't derailed just because I turned the speed up far too rapidly. Right, okay, middle line. If I can actually uncouple the blighter. What we'll do we will have the 101. Because the 101 hasn't had a chance to pull a train by itself today. And the 9F's ramming into all my rolling stock. Not the 9F. And I've accidentally pulled the body off. The 101 hasn't had a chance to be in a train by itself today. It was at the start, but couldn't pull those two coaches. Let's quickly reassemble it. The 101 can pull Flying Scotsman's tender. I can get him to couple. There we go. And off you go. 101, please. Good, that's going. And last but not least... Whoops. Must remember to turn all these lights off at the end of the stream, otherwise I'll run down all the batteries like I nearly did the other week. Ah! Headset's coming off because I'm having to lean. Oh, there we go. Last but not least, let's do... Do we do the D11 again? Let's do the D11 again. Going backwards because fun. D11. Do we have the D11 pulling coal trucks? Let's have the D11 pulling coal trucks. Pushing coal trucks, I should say. Need to find a cart, a wagon that's got a coupling on. This previous owner chopped some of them off, which is fair enough, to be fair. Oh, there's coal all over the place now. Never mind. Right, got a bit of dilemma here. That one will have to be there, and that one will have to get turned around. Last but not least, on the Gresley line, the D11 pushing 7 coal trucks. Please don't derail. Oh, it already has because I've failed to put it on the track properly. Dee 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 dee. Is everything behaving? Yes, I think it is. Smashing. Well, it's my favourite song on in the background, so I'll turn up the music and shut the mic off. Do enjoy the sights of the trains. I'll be back when this song's finished. Hello Pete, thank you very much for joining. Very nice to see you. You doing okay? Thank you very much for joining. Jaden left about half an hour ago, I think. But I'm sure he'll be watching on the replay anyway, so it probably will still see your message. Have you got any requests, Pete? I have just changed the trains over. But if you've got a request, as long as it's an unprototypical one, you can have it. I can change them over. We've got 20 minutes. So if you want an unprototypical request or two, do put a request in the chat if you want one, as long as it's unprototypical. Ah, just missed all them trains going past then, couldn't get to the button fast enough. Shame. Okie dokie then, Pete. I will cook something up, let's say. So we've had stuff pulling tender, so I'll take the middle line off. So what we will do is your favourites. Are they already on the track, your favourites? No, they're not. I should know this. So let's do the 101. The HST. Where's the power car? Let me find it. There we go. The HST power car, which will have to go at the back because it hasn't got a coupling hook on the back or a coupling at all on the front. Let's go with the 08, wherever I've put that. There it is. 08 in the middle. And then let's sandwich the containers like that. So, very odd having a locomotive slapped in the middle, that's unprototypical. And unprototypical because you've got a HST with freight. So there we go. I've no idea how well matched the speed of these engines are, but dare I say, once that one's coupled up, let's find out. Yeah, thank you for joining, Pete. Obviously, as you said yesterday in the comments, you missed me, but it's no problem if you can't make it. It's no problem if you don't feel like watching it on replay. You can miss it for a week or just flick through and watch the highlights. Honestly, I'm not bothered, but do thank you very much for joining the stream and taking the time to join. Oh dear, derailment. But there you go, Pete. If this train behaves, 31 container wagon, 08 container wagon, HST. We'll have to make it go very slowly. That's the only downside. So the 31 is wheel spinning ever so slightly. The 08 is obviously a slow train. And the HST as well doesn't really pick up speed until the higher end of the controller scale. So, yeah, I think that's doing okay. And I don't want the 31 being a £250 model to break too much. And of course, to make it even more unprototypical, it's going the wrong way around the third radius line. So there you go. Oh, I missed all 3 trains again. I didn't get to the button fast enough. Damn it. Oh well. No, let's leave the runaround wide open. This is probably the most... Oh, about to say this is the most well-behaved train of the day. Without realising that all this has derailed. Oh well. Oh great, just jump on again. Just jump off again, why don't you? I'll have to fix that. Oh god, that's quite badly derailed actually. Yeah! Yes, it's railed. I should have just left it unrailed. It was running perfectly fine. Oh well. I missed all 3 trains again and forgot to press the button. I have keyboard shortcuts to swap the cameras around. So to change to all cameras is Control A, because A for all. Control for station is Control T. Oh, it's all thrown itself off again. I'll have to wait until that comes around. No, I won't. It's just right. So we got looks like I press. Typical me. Turn down the wrong controller. Sorry, 9F. Right. Let's take the rolling stock out completely, and we'll just run the 08, the 31, and the HST. Oh no! And while taking the containers off, the 9F crashed into the containers. That wasn't good. Come on. There we go. Now you can go around there. Right. Wrong controller Sam moment. Yeah, I know Sam's particularly prone to doing that. Well, it doesn't help that all my controllers are different, as you know. And especially when you're trying to stop trains crashing, it's not the easiest thing to do to remember which one. Plus also, well, I mean, I guess you get some comedic effect out of it, don't you? I'll stick that behind there. Right, let's see if we can get the 31 and all that going. Oh, it's not even coupled up to the other ones. Couple. If you want. Power. Wrong way, that way. But yeah, well, if I take this camera off the tripod, you'll be able to see what my controller draw looks like. I did show it earlier in the stream, but considering it's a thing I'm talking about, there you go. This is what my controller draw looks like. So that's not my phone screen smash. That's just a projector. So keyboard for controlling the laptop, mouse obviously. The column water siding controller, which is that one there. This one, which does the 3rd radius line. That one, which does the 4th radius line. That does the 2nd radius line. That does the big siding at the back that's over there. Well, where's my finger? Where that camera is there. And then that controller there does the sawmill siding that runs around the back there. So yeah, none of my controllers are the same, but it'd have been very expensive to make them all the same. And they might not fit in the drawer, actually. So, I've got a bank of the 900 and the 902s, which are fine. They don't need to be super high power, because that's the 2nd radius. Not very many big trains get run there, and they're just siding controllers. That's even weaker for the coal and water siding, because that does have a thermal cutout problem. But it's fine just for running a train into the siding. That's my most beefiest controller, can do 5 amps, so obviously I chuck that on the most heavy duty line, the 4th radius line. This one does 1.5 amps actually, you can see it says there. So that one goes there. So yeah, it's a nice draw. There's just, excuse all the wires all over the place at the moment, it's because I've got loads of stuff plugged in. And stuff that was charging earlier. I did have a massive tidy up of the loft earlier. I rearranged all my drawers. I replaced some of the bubble wrap that lines the drawers that was ripped and snagged and all over the place. Tidied all my drawers out, hoovered the floor, and just had a bit of a big tidy up, and of course now I've got all my streaming stuff out again. It's all dirty. Well, messy, not dirty. I didn't actually put all the streaming stuff properly away, I just had to take it off the floor so I could hoover the floor, so it was clean until I put it all back down. Anyway, there's just something I want to say at the end, so I'm going to stop the trains about 5 minutes early. So we will stop them in the station, as usual. We will stop the 9F in the runaround line. So we'll just bring everything back a notch now. The middle line doesn't need bringing back a notch because it's already quite slow. Although I suppose I could do it, wouldn't hurt, would it? That white controller that I showed, by the way, my granddad built that. Thank you, Pete. I enjoyed mowing lawns, obviously, as you know. There is another one coming up shortly. Yeah, shortly, I'll say. That's a decent stop. There is another one coming up shortly, getting it more into the history of how I started with lawnmowers and sort of what my history with lawnmowers and mowing the lawn is. So there is another one coming shortly. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. If you enjoyed the... That was... No, we're going... No, I'm not ending the stream on those 3 terrible stops. We're going round again. That was terrible. But hopefully you will enjoy the second one that was coming up in a week or two. Because that's going into a little bit more history of how I got started with it. We're not ending the stream on the stops as terrible as that. They were abysmal. Looks like I'm gonna have to stop 2 at once here. Right, we'll stop you there. Halfway, as usual. 9F will pull you right to the end. There we go. I know the tender's off, but you need to see the loco, not the tender. And the D11 should have enough room to squeeze into shot. Obviously it's at the back of the train, so I've left some room for the coal wagons and the loco. There we go, now we've got perfect stops. Let's actually make sure all my controls are off, because we've had that problem before. Right, so that's the end of the stream. Just a quick note, well, not a notice. Next week, we're going back to 1 stream, so this has just been a one-off where we haven't had, well, I haven't had anything planned much this weekend, and I didn't do a stream last weekend, so that's why I've done the stream weekend. How many times can you say weekend in the same weekend sentence? But because I was busy last weekend, I ended up sleeping at my grandma's because my parents were going out for tea at short notice, and I didn't have time to make an announcement or anything like that. So that's why there was no announcement or stream last week. But I did have a lot of spare time this weekend, so that's why I've done a stream. Well, did a stream yesterday, and I have done a stream today. That's why it's a stream weekend. So, unfortunately, I'm not doing stream weekends every weekend because it's just too much, hassle to do it for both days. And next week I think I've got some stuff on that I do need to do apart from streaming. However, for the next few weeks, obviously streams will go back to the usual Saturday 4:15 time. But next week, and for a few weeks after that, I realised during the middle of this stream that I haven't actually serviced any of my engines for quite a long time. And obviously, most of them still work, apart from Flying Scotsman that packed in a few minutes ago now. But I haven't actually had a general maintenance and general service or general look over my engines for quite some time. So for the next few weeks, and until I've managed to get through and service all of my engines, we are doing servicing streams from now on. So next week will be a servicing stream, and there will just be servicing streams every week until we get through my entire loco collection. So That may take 2 weeks, it may take 3, it may take 4 episodes of streaming, but that is what we are doing for, the next few weeks until I get through all my Loco collection. We will be doing some servicing. First time servicing on this setup with OBS and in the HEMR live format. So that is what we're doing next week, servicing streams until I get through my Loco collection, because it needs to be done, but I haven't really got time to be doing it in a week, so I'll do it for a stream instead. So, you'll be pleased to know you can stop listening to my voice now. I would just like to say thank you everyone for joining me for today's live stream. It really has been wonderful to see you all here today, and thank you very much for your requests as always. The ones today have been particularly good, and I do always like doing these unprototypical streams. I do hope that you have enjoyed watching the stream as much as I've had running it. We've had much less disasters today, and as I do always say, these weekly streams really are one of my favourite types of content to produce and make. I will hopefully see you next time. Well, said that wrong. I'll hopefully see you at the same time next week on Saturday at 4:15. Obviously, we've got the stream weekend this weekend. I've already explained that for a servicing stream. But in the meanwhile, I would just like to say thank you all very much for joining once again this evening. Thank you to Jaden and Pete Clark, who have been in the chat today. Thank you to everyone else who's been watching as well. Pete has just popped in and said, "Thank you, George Knight Swan. I will make the start next week." Okay, that's fine, Pete. Don't worry if you can't. And same to you, Pete, as well. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. But in the meanwhile, I would just like to say thank you all very much once again for joining this evening. And thank you all of you who've watched my stream weekend. Do take care, and I will just say bye for now.